Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again, and yes, it's been a few weeks since the end of the season. Took some time away, been abroad, very nice it was, Bulgaria, and yeah, great time had. Well, apart from Jordan Pickford trying to creep up behind us but that bastard was told where to get off. Watching a Queen fucking tribute act, having a good time with a few drinks, and the kids are like, look who's behind your dad, turn round, none over than fucking Jordan Pickford and his little fucking wee arms. Yeah, he was told, it was dealt with. It was dealt with, you know my feelings on that Mackin bastard. So, apart from that, I had a good time. So good, we're looking at going away again very shortly. Back there for some more nice weather, sun and relaxation before the season kicks in a proper again very, very shortly. Newcastle, although again, all of our players scattered throughout the globe, getting in holidays here, there and everywhere. It looks very, very good. Like I said, Joe Linton, Bruno's been posting holiday pics. Yeah, you can just, it's sort of dream world, isn't it? It really is dream world, but you know, let them go away, let them recharge. The work, the business is still being done at the club. The training ground improvements, and let's fucking face it, these have been overdue for fucking years and years and years. That has begun. That's going to be done and ready for the beginning of the season, according to Lee Ryder. So really pleased to see those works taking place. And let's transform it a little bit less 1990s bungalow and a little bit more towards a state-of-the-art training complex that we can use. Again, hopefully to avoid injuries, to attract players, to get the best out of the players who come through the door and who are already at Newcastle United. So fingers crossed all that goes to plan. I was really pleased to see that. I was also really pleased whilst away to see Dan Ashworth finally getting through the doors. A compensation deal agreed with Brighton for anywhere between 3.5 million up to 5 million, depending upon who you read and who you believe. But whatever it is, it's money well spent in my view. You've got somebody there who's going to overarch, look at the entire club, get it sorted and get it everybody facing the same way, and really trying to drive success and get results on the pitch and for the club. That's across the board, you know, through the youth teams, the women's teams, the men's team. So that's really exciting. Fantastic that we've got him, because we were looking at waiting until fucking November for him, and we've got him in before before the transfer window had started. Newcastle have done some business already, and it was the most common sense deal to do in the world, because he came in last season on loan and he was an absolute and utter revelation. So to get him and secure him for an extra £12 million Matty target is a no-brainer to me. This was Aston Villa's player of the season in the last full campaign that he competed for them. He was outstanding there. Didn't want to play a second fiddle to anybody really at Aston Villa, so he's moved on. He's made the most of the opportunity, and Eddie Howe before the end of the season said, look, I want to sign you, it will be sorted. And as is the way at Newcastle these days, when somebody like that, and Eddie Howe, the manager or an owner or somebody, speaks and says something, they are true to their word. Their word is their bond, and he returned and the deal was done, and we've got our first choice starting left back for next season, Matt Targett. So yeah, no doubt Bruno Guimaraes will be over the moon. We all saw the scenes after the last game against Arsenal. The crowd were absolutely singing, serenading him. Bruno Guimaraes came over and he was again pleading with the club to do the deal. So let's keep Bruno happy, keep the fans happy, bring him in. And I think it's a fantastic piece of business when you look at some of the other deals getting done and the money that's involved. To bring him in for the deal that we have, it's similar to the likes of when we signed Trippier for 12 million. The bargain signings that Newcastle are pulling off, and it leaves more wiggle room in the budget for your Bruno Guimaraes type signings, where it does need an extra few quid thrown at it. So yeah, over the moon that Targett has been brought in. and then looking forward to what the future will bring. There's every chance that he is able to push into that England squad, especially when you consider that they've been playing Trippier there, who's a right back, over on the left hand side of defence recently. So fingers crossed that he's able to keep up the performances, keep pushing on, keep that 7 out of or 8 out of 10 every single game going, and that pushes him in for a chance of maybe getting into the England squad ready for the World Cup this winter. Yeah, winter. I'm still not used to even saying that. It still sounds a bit daft, doesn't it? We should be having a World Cup right about now, but hey ho, it's amazing what money can do, isn't it? Yeah, and money's certainly transforming Newcastle's fortunes. And look, I don't feel guilty about saying that. There's some people who say, well, it's not just the money or this, that and the other, and it's not. It's across the board. Just being able to trust the words that your owners say, like I touched on before, the manager says before. But yeah, you know, I look back to last season, and that's why I'm not particularly worried that we haven't signed anybody else yet. Last summer, we had Steve Bruce as manager. The biggest fucking cockwomble going. Useless bastard. And we had Lee Charney in day-to-day operation of the club, and Mike Ashley as owner. So straight away, you're giving me the consortium, Amanda Staveley, another Dan Ashworth. You're giving me Eddie Howard and the rest of his coaching team, and it's already a million times better. And we've seen already the payoff on that, with, you know, improvement in performances from the likes of Big Joe, Fabian Cher. Virtually everybody has improved since. You know, we've had the change of ownership. Look at John Joe Shelby sprinting back, making tackles, getting forward, being mobile, looking fit. The entire team looking fit. So already we're a million miles ahead of where we were, and we've got people in who care about the club, custodians who care about the club and are passionate about the club. And in terms of Eddie Howe, we've got somebody in there with tactical knowledge, who's passionate, and who's not willing to throw the fans under the fucking bus like the previous owner did, so the previous manager did. When you think of Steve Bruce, Mr. Plastic fucking Geordie, and he's talking about the fans, throwing the fans under the bus, criticising the fans, taking sly digs, and so on. We are a million times better off. There is money to be spent there. There will be money that will get spent. But at the same time, Newcastle are sticking to their plans, their philosophies, their judgment on players, their value on players, and they're not being you know, pissed around with regard to this Newcastle tax. Whenever we go in for a player, you can add 10 to 20 million on top. They're not playing that sort of game. We're trying to stick rigidly to FFP and trying to play by the rules, and I think that's to be commended. Doing things in the right way, and again, we keep it to what was said when they bought the club. It is a slower build, it is evolution rather than revolution. And where some clubs are chucking £100 million at players and stuff like that, we are trying to be a little bit more smart with things, and like I said, build stuff up, get the finances as well, hopefully looking better through sponsorships, which were again neglected severely under Mike Ashley, but you know, now we're able to negotiate, and you know, again, towards the end of this season, that will include a new shirt sponsor, Fun 88, going into the last season. That was confirmed recently, because obviously all the changes with regards to sponsorship and gambling companies on football shirts and stuff. So last season of the Fun 88, so then we're going to go in there again, a new sponsorship contract, different name on the front of the shirt. So that'll be interesting to see how much extra money we can bring in there. And no doubt they are busy beavering away on other sponsorship opportunities. I think there's going to be a visit, you know, country on the sleeve. So I visit whatever particular country that I can't remember what it was for. But again, you're looking at squeezing income in from every which way. Something that we just didn't do under Mike Ashley. And yeah, again, I see the fact that in the press, whilst I've been away, we've been criticised for potentially having some Saudi companies involved at the club, whether that's at the training ground, whether that's at the stadium or whatever. But I find it rich that these journalists are criticising that, when Mike Ashley for 14 years had a Sports Direct sticker on every square inch of the fucking ground that he could get away with, and the training ground, and virtually paid a fucking pittance, a few pence, for the so-called privilege. So you know, you can't have it both ways. You've got Mike Ashley putting his company all over it, paying nothing for it, and nobody had a problem with that. Saudis are willing to pay the going rate for sponsorship around the ground, and everyone in the mob has got a fucking opinion. And these are the same hypocritical bastards who'll go over to watch the boxing or the golf or the WWE or whatever it is when it's held in Saudi and not say a fucking word. But again, it's this anti-Newcastle salty agenda that seems to be out there, and fuck me, it's like, I suppose we'll just have to get used to it, have to get that thick skin where it's just like whatever. We know that the people running the club care. We know that the people, the custodians running the club, are doing all they can to make it a successful era for Newcastle United, and that is it at the end of the day. Players will come, sponsorship will be signed off, hate will come our way. Again, as we travel and go on away games, we'll get it in the neck of different fans and all sorts of things like that. But I trust the process. We are growing, we are building, and we're not being held to ransom by certain players. Newcastle have certainly, it seems, got a policy of only signing players who they are fully checked out, fully scouted, and are sure of the sort of people that they're dealing with. You know, so the character has to be 100% right. And again, it doesn't look as if they come away from that. So it's all down to scouting and to seeing what they are actually buying. We're not going down the route that we've gone down previously, where we just buy names. You think of that first relegation under the Ashley regime, when you had your Duffs and your Owens of the world, and just signing players off reputation rather than hunger, performance, attitude, etc. So it's not all about money, it's about finding those right characters, and I think that's being tested at the moment with the whole Sven Botman thing. He's a player who I would love Newcastle to sign, because I think he can be a quality defender for us for a decade easily. He's got all the attributes, and he's the one target that I've wanted since the very beginning. However, if reported to be believed, and I don't believe everything certainly that comes out of Spuke Edwards is fucking trap, that's for certain, but if reported to be believed, the goalposts are being shifted, an extra few million here, an extra few million there, and the player being tempted by AC Milan, but AC Milan not having enough coin to be able to make the deal happen come to fruition. Now, I've no problem with a player being interested by going to AC Milan, the Maldini thing, a defender, the history that they've got with players from that country and stuff as well. You can't disrespect that, and you can understand the pull, but we can't wait forever. And certainly what I don't think Newcastle will stand for is clubs moving the goalposts and just seen as a bit of a cash cow. Well, can we get an extra few million from them? It's, if the deal's been agreed, the deal's been agreed at the end of the day. And you could get a situation where Lille get fuck all, basically, and then they've got a player who is unhappy still on the books. So I can't help but think that the next week or two we've got to see progress on that deal, or they'll just be moving on to other targets, because I think Eddie Howe and Dan Ashworth as well are meticulous people who will want players in earlier and sooner rather than later with regards to integrating them into the squad. And we've also got a tour that looks like it's going to be announced of Austria. Now, I'd imagine he would want players in for then, certainly some players in for then. I expect us still to sign players over the remainder of the window, but I think he'd want some of his major signings in at the beginning, and then, like I said, take them away and get that group harmony and the group cohesion work starting straight away. So it's disappointing they're not going to America and playing some of the more glamour friendlies and stuff, but Austria, closer to home. Hopefully a few more friendlies will get announced as well. but that's the latest rumour, isn't it, about that Newcastle are going to be going to Austria as a backup now to the fact that we're out of this American Cup. Some sort of wrangling over permissions for the tournament from the US, so disappointing, but no doubt they'll look to get that sorted maybe in future years to come, because it's a huge market for Newcastle to tap into. And again, you're talking about increasing revenues, getting your face out there, getting more fans, more supporters in from across the pond, from other countries like Saudi Arabia, is only going to benefit the bank balance, and in turn that allows us to sign more players, better players, and improve the squad that much quicker and sooner. And that's what it's about, I reckon, this season. There's plenty of work still to do as well with regards to players going out. One player who has gone out is, of course, Isaac Hayden, and he goes out, I think, with everybody's best well wishes. He was a fantastic pro whilst at the club, over 100 games, so scored 6 or 7 goals, I think it was 7 goals off the top of my head, and never really let Newcastle United down. And you've already got to look at the messages from the Newcastle fans on the Norwich social media posts and stuff like that, and you'll see the class, you'll see the respect there to Isaac Hayden, which is in total contrast to what you will have seen if you looked from Aston Villa supporters at the Matt Target news, calling them championship standing and stuff like that. Fucking heads gone absolutely. But there is going to be more departures. Woodman is speaking to Preston at the moment. That one came out over the last couple of days, and there was a host of other players, again all linked to championship clubs. Again, it looks as if a lot of these will be loan with a view to a permanent. So it's just a case of shifting the wages off the wage bill, I think, for the time being, and being sensible with that. So you've got Dwight Gale supposedly speaking to Middlesbrough. You've got Carl Darlow out speaking to a few clubs at the moment as well. Jeff Hendrick has said that him and his agent are working on things, trying to get something sorted for him. So there's going to be great movement. I expect somewhere between 8 to 10 players getting moved out, and that's on top of some of the younger players. We've had Lewis Cass, haven't we, recently moving out of the club. Another couple of the youngsters have gone on to pastures new, and we wish, of course, them all well in the rest of their careers moving forward. It's always difficult with younger players and making that decision, can they, can't they? But one player who certainly can and will be given an opportunity this summer from the youth setup is Elliot Anderson. Had a fantastic time out on loan, didn't he, down with Joey Barton at Bristol Rovers. They are keen to get him out again next season, along with Sheffield Wednesday. But Newcastle are going to look at them over the summer first of all, and then a decision, most likely a season-long loan move, will be worked out for the young lad who has a massive future at Newcastle United. Shola Amiobi recently been talking about him in such glowing positive terms, and he seems a real positive a real positive chance to get somebody from the youth team into the first team, a la Paul Dummett, a la Sean Longstaff. Obviously both of those lads as well signing new contracts recently, so exciting times. And not lots of transfers taking place so far, but you've got to give them patience. They asked for patience, they said it would be a longer process, and I think we've got to work with that. Still lots happening at the club if you think with regards to the training ground. Dan Ashworth trying to arrange friendlies. The friendlies not being Doncaster and the likes of this world. A massive step up in quality this season so far for what's been announced, and that's to be commended as well. I think there's no point testing yourself against lower opposition teams. You've got to put a little bit of quality in there and really push yourself and test yourself and learn something off these pre-season games. So again, a fantastic decision by the club to be able to do that. So lots of positives, very few negatives. The feel-good factor is still definitely at St James's Park. My missus is looking for another week away before the football season starts as well. But yeah, everything will still keep coming on Magpie 24/7. All the socials updated since, all the way through last season, all the way through now day after day. So keep checking out the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram. We've got TikTok as well, and do appreciate if you can give this video a thumbs up, and if you can subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing, not a bean, but it does mean a lot to us if we continue to see maybe the YouTube side grow and catch up a little bit with the rest of the socials. That would be absolutely fantastic. Got some extra videos planned for during the close season, because it is a bit of a downer when there isn't as much Newcastle United stuff about, isn't there? Not much coming from the club at the moment, but still exciting times, and it's like, who's next? We've just got to enjoy the ride in the new owners we trust. Remember how it was 12 months ago in those dark times with fucking the world's tightest fucking owner, tighter than a duck's ass, fucking Lee Charnley, the most useless bastard in the world, the man who had to wear slip-on shoes because he couldn't tie fucking laces, and who wasn't and shouldn't have been put in charge of ordering the fucking photocopy paper. Fucking so useless. If you think back to a year, then you look at the things now, you feel a damn sight more positive and happier, even without the lack of action on a weekend at the moment. Close seasons for you and all that, but not too long, and not too long to go until we find out the fixtures coming out next week as well. So yeah, let me know what you think down below to it all. Fixtures, who would you like first day of the season? Personally, I'd like a big match, a match at home. So I don't know, maybe an Arsenal, or I don't know, maybe a Leeds, somebody like that at home. Home game would be nice. Get off to a positive start and maybe ruffle a few feathers early doors. That would be great also. So yeah, let me know down below, and in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.